I've been playing a lot of Battlefront 2 because I always play Battlefront 2. To me, it's still the best Star Wars multiplayer game that's ever been made. It's so expansive. There's so, the different game modes, the large scale. I don't think it comes close. I have a lot of, desires for what I wish it could be more of. I think I still wish it was a bit more Battlefield than Battlefront. I think they really went for the more accessible angle of kind of, trying to bring in a larger player base and maybe not making it as hardcore as a Battlefield game with the destruction and everything that goes into a Battlefield. Also, some of the maps I wish were bigger so you could use vehicles a lot easier. It feels a bit clunky sometimes, but man, just looking at this... Say again?
McClunky?
Yeah, there you go. If you like. We can go with that one then. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's good. No, it's hilarious. I don't know. It's like looking at this and how old this is. This released in 2017 now, and it's still
holy hell.
It's incredible.
No ray tracing, no nothing like that, and it still just looks so good. I think this is 1080 my footage as well, and like watching it in 4K, it's stunning.
Yeah, I don't think there is a better looking game to this day. No. Walking through the forest out in Endor there, you're like, it doesn't get better than this. It doesn't get better than this.
Yeah.
So what's the support been? Sorry.
I was going to say, because I assume you've been playing from the start, but there's been a big resurgence as well.
There has been. So they stopped updating the game in 2020. Since then there's been nothing, which I think to everyone was a surprise, but now we kind of know EA were moving to Battlefield 2042 and then now 6.
Yep.
But yeah, the resurgence recently has been incredible. Just so many more people have been playing. It's kind of had a second wind, and a lot of that was due to the Fortnite event. Yep. I think people realized that, hey, we love Star Wars games, and the Fortnite Star Wars event was the biggest one, but it still didn't scratch that same itch that Battlefront does. Yeah. And also Andor was really popular. The Revenge of the Sith released in theaters for 20th anniversary. So it was just a number of things that went into, I think, giving it this new burst of life.
But that wasn't really planned, was it?
Not at all.
That's the funniest part. For the big Disney/Star Wars machine that goes, here's what we're doing for anniversaries and here's where we're going to direct all our attention. I love that this kind of spawned off as a flow-on effect of all of that. It's like suddenly everyone's like, what's the best Star Wars game I could play right now? This one.
And I will say, not just a resurgence, by the way. Like, they broke their all-time player records week after week after week this year.
Correct. Yeah. Especially on Steam. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. More people were playing, basically, I think, since way back in 2020, but the game only had a Steam release later. I think it was around 2019, 2020. So they eclipsed that record by a long way. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's part of the problem, though. The fact everyone returned to it and the game is 8 years old, doesn't that say there's a huge gap in the market for a game like this?
Okay. Yeah.
And I feel like part of the reason they haven't made one yet is just because it's so difficult to do. It's such a big game. Like, taking on the Battlefront game and what I guess EA and the original ones did with it, it's supposed to be the ultimate Star Wars game, right? In that you can live out all your fantasies. It's got the hero gameplay. It's got, the large scale battles, vehicles, space battles as well, the ships in the sky, everything, capital ships. It's just so expansive. And I feel like maybe to a developer, that's super daunting because of the cost it would take, because of maybe working with Lucasfilm, the approvals they need to get. But it feels like a sure thing as well. Like, you're going to make money.
Totally. But the way I remember when this was released, and I'm casting my mind back, it did come out quite feature heavy and mode heavy. And that's not always a good thing when a game launches, because it can skew the player base, but also it can just be like sort of paralyzed by choice about what's the right way to be playing this game. Whereas time has been really good to this in the sense that now people want to play it in different ways. And I would have thought this hero mode, when I saw it, was like the 4v4 always looked really silly and like a kind of add-on. But it turned out to be a thing that people absolutely adore. But then there's still the sort of like more troops shooter blaster mode. Yeah. It like, now that there's that big player base and now that there's a lot more people coming back to it, I feel like those modes thrive versus when they're all offered to you on the back of the box when it comes out. It just never seems to, I don't know, they never take off the same way they hope, or at least the developers hope. Again, it's when the developers aren't planning for it, let it thrive in its own way. And somehow Battlefront 2 has returned.
I agree. Yeah.
This one suffered as well on release. I think there was a fair bit of controversy around some microtransactions.
So it's huge. Huge problem.
It suffered big time initially.
And a credit to the developers for bringing it back. They kind of brought it back from the dead. But the thing is, not everyone returned. When the game launched, though, there was no Anakin, no Obi-Wan, and I think a lot of people forget that. No General Grievous. It was kind of yes, it was like map heavy and feature heavy, I guess, or a game mode heavy, but there was still a lot of really core stuff, I think, missing.
Yeah.
And, they made the decision over the next 3 years to continue to update it and do the live service and make it into that Star Wars game that it is now. But it's still super disappointing that they didn't continue it on, because I think everyone thought they would with what they were
I'd like to be
building.
Cassian Andor.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
And there's so much opportunity. Yeah, correct.
totally.
Correct.
And it's easy to go, why not just release Battlefield 3, looks better, new maps, but all the features that you've managed to put into Battlefield 2, and I'm sure there's a reason why all those features aren't in there from the start. They're building on a new engine, they're working it out as they go, they get the stuff working that they can, they need to patch that stuff because they've released it, and the content drip is not as pacey as they'd like. It must be so hard to make a video game. Because the same thing's true of Halo, right? Like,
Especially
Halo
one
Infinite
like
is
this.
better now than it was at launch, but no one's playing it anymore because it wasn't good enough at launch and people have moved on.
But you're right. It brings up two interesting points. One is when this came out, there would have been the percentage of people who probably couldn't run this thing on their PCs, even though it was well optimized. It's like now, many years later, that is the probably standard PCs can run this a bit better. So that opens the player base up to a lot more people who want to play it. And the other one is that, in terms of the redesign and going for Battlefield 3 on the Naboo Starfighter. Now this is fun.
It's a good looking ship.
It's so good. It's my favorite.
You could Overwatch 2 yourself if you went for Battlefront 3. You have to start again from the ground up to a degree. You've got to bring your players across, and you've got to hope that there aren't problems with it. Whereas here, what you have is something being very refined and having all the edges sanded off.
What's missing? You said you would like a more Battlefield style experience. Is there a world where Battlefield 2 gets a hardcore mode, and or is it just that the maps and the content can't support that at the moment? So you think that there should be a Battlefield 3 that talks to a different.
I think Battlefield feels more open.
Yeah.
Battlefront feels quite linear in the way that you played, even with a mode like Supremacy, which is basically you capture all the command posts around the map and fight for territory. Yeah, right. It's so good. I know all the interiors and stuff, like the cockpits.
I don't think graphics need to get better.
No,
I think just design is what goes into it. And that works. So why make a third? Just be like, just put more of this in.
I don't know though. That's me speaking from years of playing Star Wars games. I would love a grittier version of this, or a more Battlefield, with the larger maps, but more of the sandboxy. One good example is in Battlefield, you can get into a vehicle that's on the map, right? Like there's a tank on the map, and you get in, and your friends can get in, and you all go to the battle together. In this, you have to spawn in a vehicle from the menu, and then as soon as you get out, the vehicle explodes. You can't use it anymore, and only one person can use the vehicle at a time. Like there's no second seat and stuff, which is strange because the original Battlefronts had that. And I feel like that's maybe somewhere where this game not failed, but a feature that I would have loved to have been different.
It's just strange. Both this and the previous one lent harder into being a bit more arcadey. In its kind of.
And I did love them though. Like,
absolutely.
So fun about that.
Yeah.
But
are there bot matches in this? Because I remember playing a lot. I played a lot of the
they only added them later on though.
Why aren't we all playing this right now?
I don't know. The last time, oh my god, my new PC! I'm booting this bad boy out. The last time I did play this was when they released Scarif as a map as well, which was such a sort of. I don't know. It was a lackluster map. It was just
match for our droideckers.
That was the
But it was just a beach with blasters trying to get to the three. And after just coming out of the movie, I do love that experience of seeing something on the big screen and being like, I'd like to play that right now. And I booted it up, and it was exactly like that.
Awesome.
I want to be able to play Stellan Skarsgård's monologue from Endor season 1.
You just walk around an antique store,
just
pricing
and pointing at
things,
people.
putting on wigs.
Honestly, why not though? Absolutely, that could, totally. And they kind of did that with the Battlefront 2015 as well, introducing random characters like Nine Nub and Greedo and stuff like that you could play as. And then when Rogue One came out, you had
Krennic,
Director Krennic and Jyn and stuff. So it's there. That Scarif update that you're referring to, that's the last update this game had.
That's what I thought. That's
so
insane.
It was a long time ago.
Was Rogue One when that came out? Was the last?
That was.
They brought it across to this.
Yeah.
I'm getting very confused.
The first game had
Battlefront
that.
1. Yeah, okay.
Battlefront 1, 2016.
I'm mixing up my Battlefronts, I might buy this then, but I'm still going to because my God, this is pretty
good.
I give my life for a sunrise I'll never live to see.
Is that a line from Andor?
That's Stellan. Yes.
I'm sorry, it's not quotable enough for me yet. I loved it, but I haven't watched it enough to quote Stellan Skarsgård. Amazing.
No.
Oh, good.
What a game.
So and so you jump into this right now, you'll find matches, you'll find games.
Absolutely, it still has it. I mean, it was much bigger a few months ago with the Resurgence and everything. There are still people playing now, though. I guess it depends what time, for example, and which is disappointing as well. After the Resurgence it's had, playing on Australian servers, you can't just rock up to a game at 9 a.m. on a Monday. You know, it's like you kind of
got a job, right?
That's fair.
No. I feel like right at the tail end of the explosion of it, I was just getting the Ewok hunt. That's all anyone was playing. I'm like, oh, this is weird.
Kind of. What a random game mode, though. Like, why would they put that in the game? But it's great.
It's awesome.
Why do I enjoy it so much?
Nub.